Hello everybody. I just finished making the midterm exam for the course. I just wanted to give you some instructions on how to take the midterm. It might be just a little bit different from what you're used to. I did use as much as I could from the create your own midterm questions. I think that's a successful project, and I hope that you all participate in it for the final exam. But you guys were hard on each other in the questions, much harder than I would have been. But nevertheless, it's a great project, and your peers have asked you some difficult questions. I actually had to make most of them a little bit easier, so it would be fair to everybody. But anyway, it's going to be a blast. Um, I have a lot of essay questions, which is what I wanted to talk to you about. Most of them are worth about between 4 and 10 points each. And I know that not all of you are essay people. I lean, depending on what class I had, I loved essay questions and I hated essay questions. So there is a nice balance between the fill in the blanks and the multiple guess and true false. And whenever you get to the essay questions, I'm only looking for about 4 to 5 sentences in each essay question. I'm not looking for you to, or expecting anyone to write a whole lot of material. You have a 2-hour window to complete the exam, and I don't want you to slow down and freak out and wonder what you should be doing. What I always did whenever I was taking these tests is I would write an outline in the margin and then write my essay. And usually when I wrote an outline, the essay was a piece of cake. I even did that for my for my PhD exams. I spent half of my time, I had 8 hours, and for 4 hours all I did was go from question to question and write out detailed outlines, and then I went through it. I passed with honors. So, and I had to memorize a lot of stuff. It was about 15 pages each, or more than that actually, about between 15 and 35 pages for each question, and there were 8 questions. So I just sat there and typed for 8 hours. And so, anyway, I'm not looking for a whole lot of detail. I just want to see what you think about all of these issues, and I will say, tell me about these 3 different points of Jesus' teaching. And so just write 1 or 2 sentences on each point. That's all you need to do. And if you're not an essay person, which, like I said, I kind of lean back and forth on that myself, but you can write 2 questions on each point. For example, if I say, tell me what Jesus said about the Son of God and about the Son of Man and about himself as the Messiah, I would say what I would expect if you choose to do the questions is do 2 questions on each point. 2 questions on how Jesus is the Son of God, 2 questions on how Jesus is the Son of Man, and 2 questions on how Jesus is the Messiah. So you have a lot of room for creativity in this midterm, and I hope you take advantage of it. I don't want you to use your notes or the book or anything online. Just memorize as much as you can out of the lectures and the lecture notes, and then do your best. You're going to be cheating yourself if you use more than your memory on the exam. So the exam is really an exercise in memorizing as much as you can and reproducing it the best that you can, and then we'll work from there. So there's also a lot of extra credit on this thing, so everybody should do pretty well as long as you study. Now, what to study for the midterm? What I did when I created the midterm was I printed out all 5 weeks worth of lecture notes that I posted online, and just to be on the safe side, I went and printed out exactly what is in I printed out exactly what's posted on Blackboard in the lecture notes area, and I designed the exam to where, in order to do really well on it, you have to know everything that is on these lecture notes. And the good thing about the lecture notes is it's in an outline form, and you can memorize it. It's not, it's a whole lot of information, but it is in a manageable format. And you can ask me questions, and you can review the lectures, and there's nothing on the midterm that's not in those lecture notes. Now, there are some things that I ask you, though, that you need to have read the New Testament in order to answer the questions. And I can tell you that I focus on the Sermon on the Mount, and the Sermon on the Plain. I ask you to summarize and tell me what you think is the most important out of those two things. And also, I did some work in Acts and John. So you need to have that fresh on your mind whenever you take the midterm. Now, the midterm is timed, and I'm asking you to do it, or requiring rather, that you do it on the Respondus web browser, and that is a browser designed specifically for internet exams. It prevents you from opening any other web pages while you're taking the exam. And you have 2 hours to take it. I intended for you to be able to toggle between the questions. In other words, you can go back and forth in the questions. If you get to question number 10 and you forget that you answered number 1 incorrectly, you should be able to go back and change your answers. So that you could do that. I don't understand why professors even have the choice to make it to where you cannot go back and forth, because if you were taking a paper exam, you can always go back and forth and correct things. And I did that all the time whenever I was in taking these kind of exams. So I'm going to extend that same courtesy to you. I think that all of you, or I know that all of you, can do very well in this exam, and I'm looking forward very much to seeing what comes out of your minds whenever you take this thing. And if there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to email me. I love hearing from all of you, and just let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.